Coco Gauff on the move as she runs off 4 straight service games and she's flirting with a set point. As always, this coverage is brought to you via the Doctrine of Fair Use to Fair Dealing and the Digital Millennium Act. Coco Gauff changing the height of her forehand ball. That's right, guys. About shoulder height, Madison Keys has a return now, and she is having difficulty. Coco Gauff down 4-1 would get multiple breaks, and right now she is flirting with a set point opportunity and she's making the in-match adjustments. But I want to talk about something that I've noticed here, and look, it's a big controversy right now as the French Open directors, they're under fire for only scheduling on average one female primetime match the last few years. Again, Iga Swiatek had the win streak in 22, and executives said, look, she's not a big enough star for primetime. They were very blunt about it. However, someone like Coco Gauff, who's the top tennis earner, the top female earner in the world, the most popular tennis player in the world, she's playing the early match. And this is what concerns me, guys. Have you ever been to the U.S. Open? Yeah, you guys know that they have this huge walkway where thousands of people can walk through, and you have multiple gates you can enter, so you can make your way to your seat fairly quickly. The French Open's a different type of system here, right? Everyone that's attending these matches, they're pretty much taking the rail system, right? They're taking the train, the subway, okay? You get off the subway, it's literally, I don't know, let's say about a mile walk for the most part. But unlike the U.S. Open, you have a small sidewalk that everyone's standing on. And look, it's two people, next to each other. And you have this long line that literally extends a mile where you have to get into the stadium. Unlike the U.S. Open, where thousands of people, you get off the subway, thousands of people can just walk up and enter these gates. The infrastructure in France makes the star athletes that have to play the first match, they're going to play half of that first set with an empty arena. So what we're seeing now is the fans are starting to sprinkle into this match. And what happens? Coco Gauff, the most popular player on tour, now feeding off of that energy, down 4-1. Now she wins the next, 4 or 5 service games. She has a set point here. And the reality here is, I think when we're dealing with the stars like Coco, the executives, the directors, the scheduling, they have to consider these types of scenarios where, look, the French Open, no one is getting to their seat until the changeover. Everything's blocked off. They're very strict about that, where, some other slams or tournaments, you can sneak down to your seat, right? And the reality here is, I think they have to consider that because it affects the players' play on the court. And nonetheless, Coco Gauff, not only that, she's changing her game plan, right? She's now giving Madison Keys a much higher shoulder height ball to return, especially on the forehand side, and Madison Keys is starting to make a lot of mistakes. I also talked about how both ladies looked a little bit sluggish, the humidity, the ball's not carrying as well through the air. A lot of things factor in scheduling. And just for the most part, as tough as it is to get off of the train, to walk and get into your seat at the French Open, I don't think these top stars should be playing this early. That's just my personal opinion. I would have possibly put Mira and Lois at this first match and put Coco and Keys the second match. That would have been my personal preference. But nonetheless, guys, comment below. What do you think? Again, it's just so much easier to get into the U.S. Open to see these earlier matches. In France, it's just not the case. You have thousands of people stuck on a sidewalk. Yeah, a small sidewalk trying to get into these matches. It's crazy, guys. But Madison Keys, her husband, telling her, look, stick to the game plan. And she's dropped 4 straight service games. Stick to the game plan. That's all you need to do. Coco Gauff on the move as the fans sprinkling in now. We have a match. We'll be back.